We start in Haiti. Police have shot dead 4 suspects in the assassination of President Jovenel Moise. Another 2 suspects were arrested. The president was killed early Wednesday when a squad of gunmen burst into his home. Earlier, we talked to Mr. Whitlaw Merancourt in Port-au-Prince on the current political situation in Haiti. He's the chief editor of Haiti's local media, Ayibo Post.
I think the biggest thing right now is a power struggle. It's a power struggle between the actual Prime Minister, Claude Joseph, who resigned 2 days ago, and who is in fact in charge of the government. A couple of minutes before you call me and I'm talking to you right now, the new Prime Minister who was nominated to replace him 2 days ago gave an interview to the Haitian press saying that he don't consider Claude Moise as the Prime Minister, and he's saying that he don't approve the state of emergency that this Prime Minister declared in the country, and he's trying to build his own government, and he is in talk with the international community, and he's in touch with Claude Joseph as well. So it's a tense situation. A lot of people are saying they don't really know what will happen next.
Mr. Merancourt, you just mentioned that the current interim leader of Haiti, Claude Joseph, resigned 2 days ago. So how come he declared himself as the country's interim leader? Is that a normal procedure?
It's not the normal procedure. If you see the constitution, there is 2 versions of the same constitution circulating. In one version, when the president is unable to take care of power and to fulfill his duties, the head of the Supreme Court should replace him. But the thing is, the head of the Supreme Court died 2 weeks ago from COVID. In another iteration of the Constitution, he should be replaced by the Prime Minister. But the thing is, he was in a process of changing Prime Minister because he was seeking consensus to hold elections. So he nominated 2 days ago a new Prime Minister. His name is Ariel Henry, and the former Prime Minister, he was the former Prime Minister then, Claude Joseph, he actually welcomed Ariel Henry as the new Prime Minister. So when this happened, when the president was killed, Ariel was in the process of selecting members of his cabinet. But because I think this work was not done, the previous Prime Minister step up and take power.
The death of President Jovenel Moise may lead to more instability in Haiti, which has been suffering from political and economic turmoil for many years. John Zarella recounts the recent turbulence in politics and Moise's political career.
I've been covering Haiti on and off for about 35 years now, and I can tell you that I've seen the dictators come and go, going all the way back to Baby Doc Duvalier, the U.S. moving in with armed forces in the early 2000s to stabilize the country, to bring Jean-Bertrand Aristide back into power, president who was deposed and a president in exile. They have gone through so much turmoil over the years, but that all pales in comparison to what happened in the overnight hours. Now, I spent some time with the president, with Moise, just about in 2017, and it was just after he had gone into power. In fact, we took a trip with him up to the north coast of Haiti, where they were working on some agricultural projects. One was to build roads, build irrigation canals, because his history was he was a banana farmer at one time before he became president, and he always spoke about his strength and the issues with the old military and how they wanted to dissolve that old military. In fact, he talked about it with me in an interview we did with him in the palace.
I've been courageous since my campaign to talk about the army, not the old army we knew who used to instigate coups, who used to use violence against people. We're talking about a professional army where young professionals are trained to help face natural disasters to secure our borders.
That small army that they had hoped to put together never really amounted to anything. And the gang violence there has really just about taken over the country. And when I interviewed Jovenel Moise, it was right as the United Nations peacekeepers, the MINUSTAH as they were called, were about to leave the country. And he was very concerned, very worried that they would be moving out too rapidly and that they would leave the country with a void. Those UN peacekeepers had been there since the earthquake in 2004 and really kept a lid on gang violence and on other issues that were certainly a big problem in Haiti over the years. But once they began to leave, you could see that eventually things would just deteriorate. Jovenel Moise himself in 2020 disbanded the parliament, asked for another year as president. So things were devolving quickly. He was extraordinarily popular with with the lower class people, the common people there. And that's a great majority of the people in Haiti. But because of his roots as a banana farmer, owning banana plantations. But even towards the end, though, even they were becoming disillusioned with him. But you can bet that there is going to be some awfully difficult times ahead. And whether the country can keep from devolving into more violence is going to be very difficult. That's something I would definitely be very worried about, is whether this results in some sort of major confrontation between the authorities, the military, and the common folk there, who still to some degree supported Jovenel Moise.